So pray that our loss is nothing but time till then.
These are the pictures and sounds that danced through my mind as a child, imagining my grandfather as an aviation hero. It was like having a personal Hollywood war movie to tell my friends, and it was exciting. Unfortunately, even as an adult, I was never able to connect the romantic images left by old faded pictures to the true facts of the past. My grandfather died of cancer in 1980 when I was only 8. So my search for answers would have to begin with those who knew him the best during that time of world turmoil.
And he always got a smile on his face.
Sil Leonardini was the co-pilot and later pilot of the B-24 bomber my grandfather was assigned to during his service from 1943 to 1944.
That's our crew there. There's your grandfather back there.
They met in Tucson, Arizona, after my grandfather had trained to be a bombardier.
His job was to drop the bombs and then get on the machine gun.
The crew trained extensively before going overseas, but there was always time for fun, and especially music.
I used to know the words that if I had a paper doll to call my own.
A doll that other fellows cannot steal.
That was his favorite song. And even in training, we'd go to town. He and I'd be together all the time.
The 10-man crew was assigned a brand new plane dubbed Slow Time Sally and had orders to fly it from Lincoln, Nebraska to the China-Burmese theater. Then fate stepped in. The famous and deadly low-level raid of the Ploiești oil fields in Romania had left the 98th Bomb Group low on crews and planes. So there was a last-minute change of plans while they were in Cairo.
So they cut new orders, and about 4 or 5 of his planes were turned back and went back to Benghazi and joined the 98th. And that's we started our combat career.
Target for the day.
My grandfather spent the first part of his tour flying out of a base in Benghazi, Libya, before moving to several liberated airfields in Italy. Unfortunately, the entire crew did not make it through unharmed. While on a bombing mission over Sofia, Bulgaria, they were jumped by German fighters.
So I see these bullets coming out, and every now and then there's a red one, the tracers. In a split second, a million things go through your mind. Well, this is it. How's it going to feel? Or, no, wait a minute. If they're coming right at me, by the time they get here, they're going to miss me. Just like that. Then pretty soon, wham, right outside the window.
And then one of the waist gunners got on the intercom.
He started hollering, Brownie's hit, Brownie's hit. And Brownie said, that's okay, Lieutenant, I'll just lie down and rest. And so the engineer said, I'll go back and check on him. Well, the engineer went back and checked on him. By the time he got back there, he was dead.
My grandfather and the rest of the crew were luckier than they knew.
When we got back on the ground, the engineer the next day says, so I don't know how you made it back. The wing was ready to come off.
The crew was given 10 days of compassionate leave.
This here is your grandfather here. We both had a cigar in our mouth.
When they came back, the Rowdy Ann would be assigned to them for the rest of their tour, including the famous high-level raid over Ploiești.
Just finished dropping the bombs when I heard a wing up next to the fuselage on the right where your grandfather sits in the bombardier. It's like something hit metal. It just went wham. And I called out and said, Ray, you okay? He said, yeah. He says, but there's a hole here I can crawl through behind me.
One of my grandfather's biggest days came when the plane was flying to bomb an area ahead of troops at the Anzio bridgehead in Italy. He had just bent down to look at the bomb site when a shell came through the glass nose, hitting the navigator behind him.
He was very cool when your grandfather called up. He didn't get excited. He said, oh, he said, and he had been hit pretty bad. He says, his arm is almost blowing off. He said, I'll send somebody down here to get on my gun. He said, I'm going to take care of it. Apply a tourniquet. And he was very cool. He did a real good job. Never got excited.
My grandfather then finished the mission by leading the whole formation around enemy fire and bombing the target. Besides that, he had saved the navigator's life and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross.
He always had a shot of medicinal whiskey. They call it medicinal whiskey when you come back. And there was, Ray and I took ours, but there was a couple gunners didn't drink, so we took it.
My grandfather's 50th and last mission was on May 19th, 1944. He had ridden through enemy fire and flak and came through unscathed, but his service during the war was not over.